Hello, welcome to the AGN Football channel, and this is my first live show, momentous day for me. So we're going to talk about the event of the moment Euro 2024. Obviously, the tournament started yesterday. We've had games yesterday and today, and my thought just right off the bat is there haven't been any surprises so far.
No, there hasn't been any surprises, mate. My predictions were absolutely woeful. Just a bit of context, people. I was on a long 9-hour stream. I did a whole TikTok live for the whole since 1 o'clock today until 10 o'clock to cover every single match for the people. There was no surprises at all, like you've just said. I think one of the surprises two surprises was how poor Scotland were and how poor Croatia were. People, these lives have
That's how poor they were. They played like Rangers.
they played like Rangers. That's how poor they were. But yeah, how poor Scotland were and how poor Croatia were. Croatia really, really surprised me. Really, really surprised me. I don't know about you, Curtis.
Yeah, like the thing is, so I guess this time, Spain, Croatia. So similar to you boys, I thought it would have been like quite a competitive match, especially because like people see Croatia as a dark horse. I remember was it a few years ago when they went really far in Euros or World Cup, whichever respective tournament it was, and they have some really good players, and it was kind of disappointing that they gave them a go. Croatia gave it a go, but it was just when they couldn't get the score sheet, especially because they've got people like Modric, they had Guardiola, and some especially like Modric, he plays for Real Madrid, doesn't he? He's towards the end of his Real Madrid career, and then obviously you've got Guardiola. He's been absolutely brilliant for Manchester City, and he's been playing across both centre back and left back position, having goals and assists. So that was quite an interesting game for Croatia. And then obviously even Perisic came on, and obviously we know from previous tournaments he's been quite decent. But then in terms of then who else? The other game that we had tonight, obviously Italy, Albania. I just, barely got settled into the match, and to see Albania go, 1-0 up within like 20, 30 seconds with a really, really goal. And you think no one would have given Albania a chance before the game, but to see them give, the boys a game of football. Italy played quite well. Jorginho, decent performance, just like what we see when he plays for Arsenal, comfortable in the midfield. And then obviously a couple of goals by, Italy. Was it Barella? Barella scored or Barella? Yeah.
Nico Barella, was it?
Scored a quality, scored that looking for the winning goal. He scored the winning goal. Yeah.
I don't think Italy are a flair side early in tournaments, though. I think that's the thing with them. They're slow, aren't they? At the start, they'll start very slowly, and then they'll sort of play these pragmatic performances and get quite far in competitions. Well, indeed, they did in the last Euros. Course, winning on penalties, which is still probably painful for all of us right now. But they're a funny little side. I wouldn't really call them a flair side. They've got some good players, but they're not a flair team. I mean, does that make sense? They're not dynamic and exciting, really.
Yeah, Adam, I think with Italy, the reason they're good is because they have no standout players. That all their players are kind of equal. Whereas obviously you've got England, we've got Kane, we've got Saka, we've got Bellingham, but then we've got also players like Lewis Dunk and certain players like that. With Poland, they have Lewandowski. With certain teams, they have certain big hitters. And with Italy, they kind of don't have that. Nicola Barella, don't get me wrong, absolutely class. Bastoni, absolutely class. But they all are equal and they're a good team together because they all are on the same level. There's no standouts. There's no one saying it's all about me, like kind of like Mbappe for France, but that actually works. But if you kind of get what my drift is there, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, that's the thing, isn't it? Teamwork. How far can that get a team in a tournament? Probably quite far, arguably. You've seen teams that are just, nuts and bolts, so to speak, go really far in a tournament. And you think, where did they come from? Like, for instance, in the World Cup, Morocco.
Yeah.
That was a good example of that. And it's a strange thing, tournament football, which is why I did think, in a way, I thought we would have a surprise. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow. I hope not. I hope we don't get it in the England game.
No, hopefully not.
But you never know, do you? I mean, these things do happen in football. So
course they
We
do.
will see. We've got a long tournament coming up ahead of us anyway. So
Yeah. By the looks of things, Adam, it's looking for like a very, very long tournament for me, mate.
yeah,
With all these lives and that. I don't know if you want to touch on that Scotland Germany game, but people, listen to me when I say this. On my prediction yesterday, I said 2-2. I said 2-2. Oh
I can't
no.
believe it. I can't believe it. I bumped into a geezer in the Paddy Pound Hornchurch, and he was telling me that, you know, in the papers you get these £5 free bets, and he must have said like last night he's gone in there, whatever, and put the £5 bet on. So he thought, oh, there was really good odds from Scotland. So he thought, I'll give him a chance, chuck a fiver down. And I said to him, like, is he crazy? Like, you know, there's levels when it comes to football. You know, like Germany has such a strong side, like attacking wise and midfield options, man. So yeah, like yes, I would have expected Scotland to get the score sheet, but realistically, I kind of knew Germany would win. But that's like crazy, like 5-5 on victory. And it's just a shame. We'll see at the end, like was it Rudiger gave it away with an own goal, but obviously good to see, you know, Kai Havertz scores again. You know, fair enough, it was a
They need to put some
penalty.
respect on his name, Curtis. They need to
People got
put
to put some.
respect on King Kai's name, mate. I celebrated that goal just because it was King Kai.
Exactly, goal and assist for King Kai. So you know, it's good to see. It's good to see. So you know, positive things ahead for obviously him, and it's a good start to the tournament. You know, there's some interesting fixtures coming up.
Yeah, and then there was in the first 3 games there was 16 goals in the first 3 games. So like I nearly went Rangers again. Then people, sorry. The Scotland game, that Scotland Germany game, there was 5 or 6. So the first 3 games going was 16 goals. So it was a really, really, really good start to the tournament, people. Go on, Ads. I thought you seemed a little bit preoccupied, so I thought I'd just take the reins a little bit for you there a second, bro.
yeah. No, I twigged out, guys. I don't know what happened, but we have Josh ready to join us, so I will let him on now. So let's just get him on stage. So there we go. Josh, hi. How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, good.
Thanks
Welcome
for
to
having me
the
on.
chat.
Just
No
decided to
problem.
join in for a while before I go to bed. But yeah, I just wanted to say that Italy versus Albania game, I wasn't even expecting Italy to like win that. I was supporting Albania because I was watching a documentary on halftime about how Italy won in the Euro 2025 or like three years ago, like 2021. I mean, they couldn't play in 2020 because of COVID that time, and obviously I see Italy are still trying to fight, like get to like at least the round of 16 in the quarterfinal. But like, who cares about Italy? I mean, I'm just praying that England can at least try and at least beat Serbia tomorrow to prepare to get to at least a round of 16 and try and get to a final, like England, because England have not won anything for like over 60 years, and the year they won a trophy which was the World Cup. I wasn't even born there. Like I was born in this country. I'm a big England fan, so yeah.
Back it, brother. Back it. Just to touch on that, brother. Because obviously Adam knows on my channel I've done a deep analysis into every single group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, Group E, all the way through, people. Serbia are no walkovers, people. Serbia are no walkovers. They're going in great form, and they've got a great team. So we can't be going in there thinking we're going to smash this team 4-5-1. I'm seeing a 2-1 victory for England, but it's going to be a tight game.
Very tight game.
I'm predicting 2-1 because I think it's going to be a tough game as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, like sometimes, especially with like our fans, they seem England fans seem to Arsenal fans sometimes a bit, they sometimes underestimate certain opponents. Some of our friends said, "Oh yeah, we're going to walk over the Serbian team to tomorrow," but yeah, it's going to be a tight game. But it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we've got a decent amount of attackers and midfielders. It's going to be interesting how we set up at the back and how compact we are, especially in transition. So it'd be interesting, especially especially with the right back option. If right back's going to be inverted, let's just hope we're nice and tight at the back, so we're not susceptible in that left wing.
Yeah, I think Serbia will play a low block, and we struggled with that low block against Iceland before, but we didn't have Trent or Bukayo Saka on the pitch. As we all know, people, Bukayo Saka plays in between the lines. He plays on the half turn and he comes in. That's how he plays, and that's what we need for that game. Bukayo Saka actually plays the furthest man forward for England. Harry Kane comes and drops in short, collects the ball, and then moves it on. And then Bukayo Saka actually ends up being the deepest player on the pitch. And that's a different role he has for England than he does have for Arsenal. We're predominantly Arsenal, he stays out wide, whereas he plays as a more inside forward for England. What are you thinking, Adam, tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a tighter game than we'd like to admit. I don't see us winning 3-0, 4-0. I think it might be a 1-0 or a 2-0 because I saw the Serbia press conference today, and I think they are going to play a low block, to be honest, because it's all they can do really to try and hold us. I mean, look at the attacking flair we've got in the squad, the likes of Bellingham, Saka, Foden. You'd imagine they'll all play.
Exactly.
So,
And speaking of that, Saudi has put a right selection out as well because, like, obviously, Jamie, like you said, how Saka plays at forward, along with Harry Kane for Frona, they will really play good together to the point that I think Gareth Southgate has really put out this like team selection well, like even like putting Declan Rice obviously at midfield, but like obviously the players that have like not been really good to even start the England squad, which is like Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford, of course. I mean, Manchester United may have won the FA Cup, but like they've not been good at all in the Premier League season, especially where you've got two players for like Manchester United who have not done well at all, and Gareth Southgate has seen it with his two eyes. That's why he's not gonna like start them, and I call that, which is really good because he knows we as England fans really want England to like at least bring it home this year, which is what I'm really praying about. If you agree with what I'm saying.
Well, I think that's going to be interesting will be if, the centre back pairing, if we go with, is it Gay and Stones or someone
That's
like
what
that.
it's
And, how they're going to do, is it Vlahovic or Mitrovic up top? It's going to be interesting how they handle them.
And they do have some absolute ballers in that Serbian team. Some absolute ballers. I don't think it's Milinkovic-Savic who plays for Serbia. Am I right by saying that? Milinkovic-Savic last season, he had 22 goals and 11 assists. So he had 33 goal contributions just last season, people. So I know he's over in Saudi Arabia, but he was putting up them numbers when he was playing over here, over in Syria. He was putting up the same numbers every single season. Even Arsenal were linked with him at one point. When we
Couple
were
times.
linked with him last season, people, we all know this. We're all gooners in here. We know that we were linked with Milinkovic-Savic, but he's gone over there for a bit of money. He's still 28 years old, so he's the man to watch out for. And they've got a good squad, people. So we've got to be really, really careful, really careful. So that's what I'm thinking behind that.
Guys, just to cut in, I've got a link that we can share with all of our, because of course we want people in to participate and contribute. So I'm going to pull that up now. That is the link for people to join on the YouTube live, so we can get some participation.
And also and just there's also one thing I remember, like it's not just the Euro 2020 final that I remember they got to, like, you remember something that I was really gutted about. You need to look back on after that, the World Cup 2022 quarter final, like against France, of course, like the way Harry Kane missed that penalty that day. I mean, the only way we could have even brought it home is like if Harry Kane had scored that penalty, and England would have gone away with it. But like when he missed it and then France scored, that's when like England bottled it. And to be honest with you, I was actually Southgate out, but Sky Sports like actually backed him. They said they wanted to still give him another chance for like this European competition that we're going into. So to be honest with you lot, if England like at least try and fight to get to at least the Euro final, and if they win, then I'm not Southgate out. But if England don't win, then I'm Southgate out, because it's going on for over 60 years and Southgate hasn't like made this team like at least win something. That's the thing. But like I'm sure Harry Kane has looked back on how when he missed that penalty that day, because I can't even forget that day. I'm sure if he was to take penalty, he would never even do that again. If you agree with me.
I think Southgate's quite a pragmatic manager. I don't know what you guys think. I think he's quite pragmatic. He's quite tactical. And the problem I've had with him over the years is he's been too cautious in big games. Now, I was saying that in Euro 2020, it was Grealish was the man of the moment at the time. I said, bring on Grealish, and he never would. And he some of his substitutions were samey and just quite safe. And I think we need a manager that can really, get us into fifth gear to actually win a tournament. And I think either way, it's going to be his last tournament. That's almost certain that it's going to be his last tournament. Pretty much, we know that. And
I'm just still giving the man one more chance. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think he's going to go anyway, because I think there's talk about him entering club management. So
what I kind of think adds with that, brother, I think that what he does. So I'll give you an example. When we went up against France, he played with Jordan Henderson and Calvin Phillips as the two central defensive midfielders. Whereas this tournament here, he needs to go out gung ho and then don't play that deep low block, because that's what we did. We played a deep low block and tried to hit France on the counter, and we didn't go toe to toe with them. If you put our squad 11 versus France, we can match them. We can match them. So we don't need to be sitting with a double pivot of Declan Rice and Mainu. We need to be sitting with a Declan Rice and a Trent for a creative outlet. I know people don't want to see him not at right back, but let me touch on that, people. When we watched versus Iceland, when Trent came on the pitch creatively, I'm an Arsenal fan. We're all Arsenal fans here. Alexander-Arnold creatively is our best player creatively with the ball at his feet. When Bukayo Saka scored that hat trick, who played him in over the top when he chested the ball and volleyed it in? Who found him? It was Trent Alexander-Arnold. With the ball at his feet, he can do a job. And the thing is, people say defensively he's not capable, but where is he going to defend more, right back or playing as an 8? Which one? I think he's going to be defending a lot more at right back, so I prefer him there using his creativeness to helping us play through that low block and switch and play and moving the ball about. Here you go, bam, there you go, Saka, get through. That type of play. I think we do need a Trent and I think he will play Trent in this game, because why else would he give Trent Alexander-Arnold the number 8 shirt? Why? Right back play for number 8, do they?
There's a couple of recent, was it like friendlies and stuff like that, what you say, where, he's been trialing, Trent Alexander in the midfield. So it will be interesting. You're probably right in the sense that it's probably doesn't make sense to have two, like you say, holding midfielders, two CDMs in Rice and Maino. But in saying that, it depends. Like you could have Maino sit, because even though he's quite defensive, he is still quite creative, and you could have Rice be the more expansive number 8. But then it depends obviously who we go with. But then obviously Bellingham himself is versatile. Bellingham can play the 8 or 10, so you could have like Jude playing the 10, Rice as the 8, and Maino as the 6. But you're right, they could play Trent, but I just think it'd be a bit risky. But you're right, it makes sense. But that people fed up with seeing him Trent at right back, because he's never at right back. He's always he goes forward offensively than defensively.
Yeah.
But
why would
the problem with that?
Sorry, just to touch on that, please, people. Jude, Declan Rice, and Mainu. Who's going to play the balls through? Because Bellingham don't play that position. He ain't like with us. We've got Declan Rice.
Bellingham is good at scoring. That's the thing. Bellingham is good at scoring. He's good at scoring in England. Like he's always hungry to score. And I feel
we're talking about creative.
Even Bellingham.
Yeah. So with Declan Rice for Arsenal, he plays as an 8, but that's because we've got Odegaard to be the creator.
True.
So if we had a Jude Bellingham, a Declan Rice, and a Mainu, we'd have no creation at all. Because we all know, we've watched Declan Rice every single week. He ain't a creative player. He presses, he wins the ball back, and he lays it off to Odegaard to be that creativeness. That's what he is.
Would Bellingham in that 10 not be there? Surely it 10. No, Bellingham's playing a 10.
Kane comes in short, and then Bellingham would go in front of Kane and be in the box.
Okay, so you're saying Bellingham's going to operate more as a second striker, sitting behind the striker rather than the 10.
Real Madrid. Yeah, that's why he scored so many goals for Real Madrid.
So you're saying play Trent in the 8. Okay, you're saying play Trent in the 8, and then what we saying?
And then when it comes to it, when you need to sit deep, then you do have a Trent. He's not awful at defending. He is not awful. He can still defensively, he can put up a job. So if we're sitting as a double pivot, he could do a job. Sorry for overtaking, but I just thought I'd just put that out there.
We have an announcement. VJ Wale has joined us. Hello, VJ Wale.
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
VJ Wale.
Good to have you on the show.
How you guys doing, guys?
I'm good. How are you?
Same. I'm fine, man.
It's the famous VJ Wale.
Are you guys doing us about the game tomorrow?
I'm quite confident, to be honest with you, because to be honest, I feel like Southgate has put this right selection, because like you said, Jamie, like how Saka is good forward, and you have like Harry Kane for forward. So like let's just say you got like a player like midfield like Declan Rice, who could clear to the ball like to 4 players, and then like they could run up and shoot all that. I think they're like even players like Jude Bellingham. Like I believe in this guy. Like he's like one of like the top greatest player of all times. That I feel like he could like make this team succeed. That I'm confident, but I predict 2-1. I'm not seeing us being Serbia by far, because don't forget Serbia are a really good team. They are like they've got a good squad, but maybe that's not as good as we are. But I see being them 2-1. That's what I predict.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd tell you what's probably a good bet: a 5 on a 1-1 draw. I'm going to be so unpopular for saying that.
Do you know what might be the positive, people? I'll give you a little insight, people. You know, if we finish second, we don't play France all the way to the final.
That is a positive, undoubtedly.
Yeah,
But
I'd like to play the big boys, man. To prove you're the best, you
yeah,
got to beat
but then
them.
if we went through the other end of the draw cut, we would get either Portugal, Germany, Spain. So it'd be Spain, Germany, then Portugal.
So you want
So
an
take
easy route to the final?
Yeah, take your boys.
Are you a Manchester United fan? You sound like you remember, was it last year? Was it Manchester United where they didn't play anyone decent to the end of the Carabao Cup or FA Cup run? Like
Yeah.
both 23-24 season and the 22-23 season. They had
That
really
was like
good
England at the
runs.
last Euros. We didn't play no one good. We only played Germany in the round of 16, but we played Denmark and everyone on the way through.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
even
imagine then we got
tell who
Denmark
we
and then we got Italy. Yeah, I mean, you know, thing that really pissed me off that day, the referee, like in that Euro
We
final.
pulled Saka
Why?
back.
Italy, like, you know, that's a very tough squad. Yeah, why is it that when they fouled Saka, yeah, they pulled his shirt and the referee allowed them to get away with it? But if England players foul Italy players, the ref blows the whistle on us because he hates that team.
Do you know what, brother? It was
Absolute
nothing to
joke
do with
of
the
a
referee.
to be honest with
England,
you.
I'll be honest, England, they say bottle. We don't like the term bottle because we're Arsenal fans. England bottled that final.
The only
We
reason
had
why
it
they
there
bought
on
that
a plate.
final
We
was
were
because
1-0 up in the first 10 minutes.
the referee is what cost us that game because
no, we didn't win it in 90 minutes.
Even when
Yeah,
Saka
but
got
that's
abused,
you got to
I
win it
don't
in
know why he
90
got
minutes,
abused.
man.
Yeah,
You got to win it in 90 minutes.
we should. You think that Italy team were poor? They weren't great. They got to a final. Don't get me wrong, but that Italy team, they weren't a Buffon. They weren't a Cannavaro. They weren't
They
a
were just rough,
Maldini.
in my
It was
opinion,
nothing
to
like
be
that.
honest with you. They were just rough. They were like all over the place, completely rough. Like, come on. Like in the Euro final, then the Saka gets abused and all that because he's black, but like he was such a young boy then,
It's
and I
horrible.
felt sad for him. Those people that abused him should have been like, you know, banned from social media, in my opinion. But like Italy, they were playing shit that day, and it was all the week. I thought England had it all in their hands, but like why referee was behaving like that day, I don't know. And Adam, do you remember what I said to you like in the previous bit about VAR and the referees and how they behave at times?
Yeah, I mean the media agenda is disgusting against Saka.
Yeah.
Let's just get that right off the bat. It's
Something
absolutely
like that.
disgraceful.
Like, it's just annoying, but
I mean, yeah. I see what your point is. Obviously, refereeing, and in the France game, we should have had 3 more penalties in that match than we actually got. Again, it was another example of not very good refereeing on the day. But you know, I think just to go back to the media agenda because I think that's important. Saka got a load of abuse after the Euro 2021 final, also known as Euro 2020, but. The fact that the media jumped on the bandwagon for blaming him is disgraceful after that. It's utterly disgraceful. I mean, they could have had a photo of any one of the 17 or so players that got on the pitch that night, or however many it was. It could have been a photo of Kane. It could have been a photo of the goalkeeper. It could have been a photo of anyone. And yet,
if Harry Kane missed a penalty, why would he not get abused? Like, I even asked myself that. Like, why would he not get abused after that penalty that he missed? Fans were criticizing him, but they didn't abuse him on social media. Why do that with Saka? Because he's black? Is that some racism, in my opinion?
Adam knows this. Adam, me and you have spoke about this, people. I do a lot of TikTok lives, yeah, a lot of lives. I get hundreds and hundreds of comments. I put my backdrop as Bukayo Saka, and I stood there for an hour and defended him, yeah, because there was racism. We all know it. There's media agenda, and there's racism. There completely is. I went to Aston Villa 2 seasons ago and sat in the Villa end as an Arsenal fan and watched 2 old white men call him all sorts of names and stuff like that, people. I've seen it. And then in my chat on my TikTok live, all I seen was banana emojis and monkey emojis. In my chat, my moderators were deleting and muting things constantly. My mods. And I messaged my mods afterwards and I said, what was going on? And they said that there was just so much racist abuse when I put Saka up as the backdrop, as my green screen. There was so much abuse. And that's just the world we live in. And people want to be blindsided to it because he's Arsenal. And that's
people are just so stupid, like for real. Like they just need to like leave the boy alone. Like he did absolutely well. It's not his fault that we didn't like win that Euro final. I mean, it could have been Harry Kane to be the first penalty taker, then let Harry Maguire take it, and Marcus Rashford, and then Saka. But like the only way we could have won it, because if England are good at penalties, what should have happened was that Harry Kane should have been the first penalty taker. But instead, he wasn't, though. I don't know why they didn't allow him to take the first penalty taker. Like, he's really good at penalties. He's so good at penalties, you know? That's the thing. But, like, I don't know why they didn't even give him a penalty, like, to be the first penalty taker. And then, I don't even understand.
It is interesting, isn't it, that the whole Harry Kane thing in Euro and the World Cup 2022. I'm not for a minute advocating that he should, everybody should be kind. The guy's missed a penalty. He's not tried to do it, has he? But there wasn't the same reaction to that as there was when Saka, Rashford, and Sancho missed their penalties in the Euro 2020 final, and that speaks volumes that we're still not, despite all of the different action the Premier League's taken, the FA has taken, we're still well behind the curve on this, I think.
Yeah, of course. Can I touch on one thing with you, Adam? Because I know I've overtook a little bit. That's because you're obviously preoccupied. I was trying to help.
Of course, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I want to touch on something. So this Euro so far, that semi-automated offside came in and it worked perfectly today. Every single game, the referees and VAR has been perfect. What was the only game today where there has been refereeing discrepancy where people have gone, oh, that's wrong call? The Croatia game today, and who was the referee? The English referee. It was Michael Oliver.
Oh,
Did everyone see that?
Christ.
Did everyone see it?
Yeah.
You know when he kicked the floor rather than kicking the ball, he gave a penalty and they still didn't pull it up. The only VAR decision and referee decision that's been at this Euros, the referees have been 100% perfect. They have
Until
been
the English referee.
Commendable
The English
job.
referees are so better than
And then
Spanish
the English
referees.
referees show up on the big stage and look what happens.
It was
Michael
shocking,
Oliver,
though.
pack your bags, go back home and leave it to the other boys.
We
It
have
was
So
had
better
shocking.
than Spanish referees. Like Spanish referees can't even referee a proper game. I like English referees; they do better refereeing than them.
It was a poor decision though, because like similar to obviously you've been watching quite a few games today, Jamie, and I was watching it, and then because I heard again, I was like, do I recognise this guy? I'm like thinking that's like first of all, I was like, I didn't think our referees go to the Euros because our officiating in English Premier League is so poor. Often our referees don't get selected for the Euros or World Cup. So first of all, I was shocked to see him, and I was staring and thinking, I know that guy. And then after I realised it was Michael Oliver, then like you say, after when obviously that decision was made, and it played it back on the TV, obviously watching on BBC or ITV, and you can clearly see the guy's tripped on his foot. You know what I mean? That's terrible. It shouldn't have been given. Like, how did he miss that from so close? It's not like he was the other side of the pitch. He was quite close to where the action was.
It's because it's an English referee, brother.
They took so long as well to actually chalk it off as well. And then even when they resumed play, they awarded the goal, then disallowed the goal. Then they continued play, and then it was another 5 minutes into the resume of play that they decided, oh yeah, it's definitely not going to be a goal.
No.
We have an absolute wealth of talent in the Premier League referees. They're so brilliant. They're by far the best referees the world has never seen.
Yeah. Oh no.
Unbelievable.
Adam, shall we actually talk about the Euros today?
Okay, let's dive into this then. Let's dive into this. Now, Jamie, you've done a lot of this sort of content, mate, so I appreciate you sticking it out for an 11th or 12th hour or whatever it is you're on by now. And I'm sure you've probably chatted to this effect before. But who's what I want to know from everybody, who's going to be the semi-finals and who's going to be the final? I'm not going to ask you who's going to win it because, that's impossible to predict. But who's the semis? Who's the finals?
I'll go first, people. I can give you the winner as well. So I've done a prediction. Obviously, I've been on my 9 hours of live today, people. I've done a predictor of what I think. And then even the results today have all gone the way I think. I think the semi-final will be Portugal versus Germany. The other semi-final will be England versus France. And then England will get knocked out by the French. I don't see us beating the French in a semi-final of a Euros. We're not experienced enough. We are a very inexperienced squad. Where I think Germany will succumb to the pressure of being on their home soil. I know it can be an advantage, but it can be a disadvantage also. So I think they'll succumb. It'll be a France and Portugal final, which France will go on to win.
To be honest with you, Jamie, you're not wrong. Like, I'm predicting as well, like France will go to the semi-final, and I think England, because I look back on the Euro 2020 when they made it to the round of 16 quarter-final and semi-final before they made it to the final because they were good enough for it. And in 2018 World Cup, like in Russia, they made it to like the semi-final then and they got out. So I definitely I see England like going to the semi-final, and then I predict France as well, and also Portugal. I mean, do you know why I say Portugal? Because they're too good because of Cristiano Ronaldo. What did they call him, CR7? I see them making it to the semi-final for real because CR7 is still playing for Portugal.
Yeah. Kurt?
It is your turn, man.
Yeah, you're
We can't
muted.
hear you.
Couldn't hear you.
Oh, there we go. I'm back. Yeah, I think France and Germany are going to go quite far. So I'm going to say France in the final, Germany definitely in one of the semis. So just wait and see.
Of course, the competition is just starting. It's too early to call because from what we're seeing today, teams that you don't believe they can put up a fight, they're beginning to put up a fight. We didn't expect Albania to play the way they played against Italy tonight. We saw how they want to take it to to the wire in that particular game, and of course they just lost the game 2-1. So it's like a close call for me. So in this particular Euros, you can never say never until the end of the 90 minutes. For the semi-final, it's going to be tricky. But we should expect the big names to be there because of experience. You should expect Germany to be there because they're the host nation, of course. That would definitely, play a part. You should expect also teams like France as well. Um, England might be dicey due to the inexperience, like you have just someone just pointed out, inexperience, no doubt about it. Then you should expect how many teams now? Germany, Portugal, France. Uh, do I want to say Spain? Because Spain are a useful side combined with a lot of experienced players as well. So I want to put Spain in the mix as well to play in the semi-final. That is if those teams don't get to meet themselves on the road to the semi-final. But those 14 should act make it to the semi-final. Of course, don't rule out Belgium as well, and don't rule out the Netherlands as well. They have crop of young players who are testy, who want to win titles as well. So it's going to be an interesting Euros from the last time, and we hope to see a lot of fireworks in this particular Euros. Of course, game we all are looking forward to is the game tomorrow where Serbia will play in England. This is our second meeting. Uh, Serbia lost to England in a semi in a friendly game. So I feel it's going to be a cracker, no doubt about it. The likes of Mitrovic, Tadic as well is there for Serbia. Of course, England, we know, yes, we have a lot of stars in that particular team. It's all boiled down to selection, and that would be definitely be headaches for Southgate. If he can get his first 11 right, then I feel he can able to go far in the tournament. But getting your first 11 right, that would be a massive, selection headache for, Gareth Southgate at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get there. Sorry, unpopular opinion.
Negative.
I think we go out in the quarters, guys.
Such a pessimist.
Hats off to your team, bro.
I mean, I think they'll make it to the semi-final. That's why I think, because they are always a really strong squad. Like, think of it: Harry Kane, Saka, Jude Bellingham, Rice. Who else? Foden, Grealish, like Kyle Walker. All these tough players in this team. I think they got a game going on in their hands, in my opinion.
Do you know, I'm really excited to see, like, especially some of the people being called up. Like, certainly it'd be interesting for, like, obviously Anthony Gordon, so he plays on the left wing usually for the Newcastle. Eze as well for Palace. See how he gets on. And obviously Mr. Watkins and Mr. Tony. Or even though he's a Chelsea, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Cole Palmer does. It'd be really interesting to see, what his GA is for this tournament. So we've got some exciting attacking and midfield options, but it all comes down to, I guess, our ability to defend and see out games. That's going to play just like how it is for Arsenal. It's going to be the same for England. How are we going to be able to grind out results, keep it tight at the back, and try and control how much we concede, because it's going to be key in some of the big games, especially obviously we're all hoping and praying we progress at the group stage, but certainly when we hopefully get the group stage, it's going to be all or nothing. Certainly, the kind of the knockout games, how well we can defend.
If we finish first of our group, like I've just pointed out before, the teams that we'll face, we will beat every one of them until the semi-final, and that's just being honest with you, Adam. They're poor. We get the third place team from I think it's one of the best placed third place teams, the best finished third place teams, yeah. And then all the way up to France is easy. But on the other side of the draw, there would be Germany, Spain, and Portugal on the other side of the draw if we finish second. So I think coming up to it, if we top our group, I think we will make it to at least the semis. But if we don't, if we finish second, it's going to be a massive, massive struggle because we will play Germany in the round of 16, and then we'll play either Spain in the quarters, and if Portugal
or even France. We can even play France.
France would be on the other side of the draw.
Oh,
if we
okay,
finish second. Yeah. So
I think England has the
Yeah,
squad.
I
It's
mean,
just
I'm not
defensive.
I want us. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong, but I just think
it's just a lot of inexperience in the squad, which I can. You think about it, people: Cole Palmer, Ivan Toney, Anthony Gordon, even Jude Bellingham, even Phil Foden. Bukayo Saka is one of the most experienced players in that squad. He's 22 years old.
You know what they say? They say Saka's world class. Yeah. So we have a world class player in Arsenal that is obviously good enough for the England national football team.
He's not world class yet, boys. He's not world class yet.
That's what every Arsenal fan say. Every Arsenal fan say he's world class.
I'm an Arsenal fan, bro, but Vinicius Junior. Vinicius Junior is world class. Saka ain't on Vinicius Junior level. He's just below it. Whereas I don't think Phil Foden's world class. I don't think Cole Palmer's world class. I think Bukayo Saka needs to perform on a stage like this, which he always does for England. I think if he goes through and we get to the semis and he plugs through all the way to that semis and he does well and he shows up, we go against France and he scores and we go through, that's when we go, he's lit up the world stage, he's world class. But he hasn't had that. For a world class, to be world class, you have to have a world class performance. And Bukayo Saka, I love him, he's my favourite player. He hasn't had that chance to have a world class performance yet. And that's kind of what I think. I don't know about you boys.
You're spot on
he's my favorite player as well. But I can't like you may not be wrong because maybe there's some games that he had a little bit of a mistake in. I think so. You're not wrong. But obviously he's still one of the top players ever, like in Arsenal. Yeah, he's also my favorite player as well. But yeah, there are in some games this season where he's had a little bit of a mistake, like like when we bottled the ending of 2023 and all that, and then we messed it up against Aston Villa.
But often to be called defined as world class, similar to what Jamie said, you have to be consistent on an international and club level. So when you look, for example, like Mohamed Salah, he's consistent on an international level for Egypt and also for Liverpool. So for Saka, for him to become world class, he needs to stand out in the big games. So Euro tournaments, World Cups, score goals, have assists, and then in terms of Premier League, obviously it's his first season in the Champions League. So many of our fans have said on ATV and obviously other channels that Saka has to do it consistently in the Champions League for a few seasons to then elevate himself to like a world-class player.
Can I pose a question, guys? Can I pose a question?
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney, was he world-class?
Yeah.
100%.
He was.
Yeah.
One of the best players ever, top players in Manchester United. Scored too many goals.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry to take over. I think world-class, so with Jude Bellingham, you can kind of put him in that category, because he went into a semi-final with Real Madrid. A world-class player has to be able to drag their team by the scruff of the neck and go, here we go, lads, I'm getting us through this. Bam, there you have it. I think at Arsenal, the only world-class player we have, and people might not agree with me, who's in the top 3 positions is Declan Rice. Because Rodri is the only person who is above him, and I don't think anyone else for that position is. Whereas Odegaard, you can argue Kevin De Bruyne, you can argue a few players. With Declan Rice, you can't argue except for Rodri. These world-class players grab you by the scruff of the neck. Vinicius Junior in that Champions League final, what did he do? Popped up, scored a goal. When we need Bukayo Saka, I'm not not putting him down because I love Saka. There's no agenda here, people. But that Bayern Munich game, when world-class players step up, that's when they grab the game by the scruff of the neck and go, here you go. I'm the boy here. This is me on the big stage. That Bayern Munich game, that quarterfinal, kind of shown that Bukayo Saka just wasn't at that level yet. That's what I think.
Yeah.
In terms of Wayne Rooney, yeah, definitely world class. Like some of the show reels we've seen recently, like the kind of
That's
movement,
what got me
ability.
talking about it, buddy. The stuff he sent me. But
You gotta think,
he only really had one really good tournament though. Euro 2004. That was his only really top tournament.
it's mad
06,
because he broke out so young. If you think
he
like
did.
16
He
years
was
old,
unplayable. He was unplayable in
He
Euro
got overplayed,
2004.
didn't he, people? He got really, really overplayed. So he peaked when he was 22, 23. And by the time he actually hit where he's meant to peak, he was done. His legs were gone.
Yeah. It was only really 04. 06, he failed. 2010, well, that was a complete write-off, as was 2014. And 2016 as well, out to Iceland in the round of 16. So
He scored in the Champions League final to win Man United. He scored in that Champions League final what they won, weren't it, in 2008? He's done it. He won Man United the title. He won, I think, 12 titles with Man United. So definitely world class.
Definitely world class, but domestically, he earned that right domestically to be called that, which is interesting. I'm best England player. That's a hard question actually. Who's been the best England player in the last 20 years?
Is this questions you're getting up on YouTube?
Sorry?
Is this questions that you're getting up on your YouTube?
No, just posing them. Just posing this as a question. More generally speaking, who's the best England player we've seen in the last 20 years? Because the golden generation didn't gel together. You had Beckham, Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, Michael Owen, and yet that team didn't win an international tournament, which is shocking because those are all arguably world-class players, all of those.
Yeah, definitely. So you're asking, who do you think? Sorry, to take over, but no one came in, so I'm trying to progress it along. I'm not trying to overstep people and stuff like that. I'm just.
You're good, bro. I see you're speaking a lot of facts. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the best. This might sound a bit outlandish, but Ashley Cole. Hear me out, people, because we're Arsenal fans. Who has been a better left back, or what England player in the past 20 years could you say was the best in their position in the whole world? And I think Ashley Cole is the only one to have that conversation.
Okay, you're saying on positional. For me, I'm just general impact to the squad. To me, mine would have to be like Mark Malone or David Beckham, similar to, like I say, being able to grab a team, and get a result. Drag the team through to the next stage of the tournament and impact the game. And like sometimes I'm trying to think what game it was. When he scored at that 92 minute or 93rd minute,
2001 to 2002 World Cup qualifier, and it was at Old Trafford.
That game just stands out for me.
I'm good, guys. I'm good.
There's even a song about that free kick, Curtis.
So what game? What game? Who was we playing when he got sent off? When he got the red card?
It was Argentina. It was Diego Simeone. That was 1998.
Well done.
Yeah, and then also that game when we were actually losing. We were losing. Was it to Greece when he scored that free kick? Teddy Sheringham actually popped up with a header to make it go to that moment there. That's what happened. So Teddy Sheringham brought us back in the game, and then David Beckham got us a draw. We still would have had to have gone through. We weren't not going to be qualified. We would have had to have gone through that other phase of qualifications. But Beckham put us through to the. Yeah, and that was in the 93rd minute against Greece in the Old Trafford. And he goes up and goes like this at the end of it.
Yeah, I still remember that free kick. What a free kick.
Outside
the box.
I've got a question to ask you before I go, because I got to go in just a minute. What's your prediction for tomorrow, like for Serbia versus England? Like, do you have a prediction for tomorrow?
2-1. 2-1 England,
I'll go 2-1 as well. I'll go 2-1 as well.
Okay. Do you have any score predictions, VJ, before I go? Like, do you have any score predictions?
Going to be a tight one. I can go 3-2 favor of England.
Okay, cool.
I went 2-1 as well, for what it's worth.
I say 2-1 as well.
I think it will be 2-1. I don't think we're going to win 3-4-5, something silly like that. It's going to be a difficult game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care. I'll see you soon. Yeah, I gotta get going.
Brother. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Take care, Josh.
See you, mate.
All right then, boys. All right. So from the game today, which was your favourite match and why?
I'll pick the last game, the Italy versus Albania. Of course, we saw how, I mean, the fastest goal ever scored in Euro. It came in the 23rd second. What a goal. What a performance by Albania, despite even the fact that they lost to Italy. We saw a team who will definitely give Croatia, who will definitely give Spain a run for their money when they get to meet in the remaining two games of that particular group. I see them to be a team that want to fight, and the fans also supporting them. And you can see at the end of the game, they went ahead to their fans to greet them. It shows that they want to give their best. That government has to declare like a 10 days public holiday for them to be able to come support their team in Germany. So I want to say that particular game was a good game. Italy also, they were in edge of their seat. Albania was supposed to score with the last kick of the game. We saw how the goalkeeper actually get to save that last minute kick. So I feel that particular game for me was the best game for today, despite the fact that it was a one-way traffic between Spain and Croatia. Of course, a lot of experienced players in that particular game for Croatia, but Spain, a mixture of young talent and experienced talent, actually saw them through beating Croatia 3-0. And in the first game, Switzerland, of course, Hungary, and they didn't have a lot of questions to answer against Switzerland. It was just a one-way traffic, for that particular game. But the main action was the game between Italy and Albania.
Adam?
I think in terms of surprise, I'm going to go on a sort of surprise value, Spain-Croatia, because Spain were very, very positive in their performance, and they surprised me. I think they could be potentially the surprise package, maybe, of the tournament.
Kurt?
For me, definitely the Albania-Italy game, because similar to what VJ Wally said, that I just didn't expect to settle down into the game and see Albania go 1-0 up within the first minute. And fair play to Albania, they gave them a really good game. It was a really tight game. There was a few opportunities where Albania should have scored and maybe looked to equalise. Italy did miss a few sitters, which was quite interesting, even though they had, they scored a few clinical goals. What was interesting was it that Skamaka, because we were linked with him. Do you remember a few seasons ago that he was linked with us, and he went to West Ham, and he was only there a season. He didn't do too great at West Ham, and he moved on. So that it was interesting. He missed a few sitters. So yeah, Albania, respect's got to be put on their name, because they turn up and give a really competitive game. So
yeah,
I
think I agree with you there, Kurt. I think that the most competitive game was the Italy-Albania game. It was very, very competitive, but my enjoyment of football is when there's better teams playing. That's just my personal opinion. So I think the Spain versus Croatia game was a lot better on the eye, whereas the Albania game was a lot more competitive. It got you more on the edge of your seat. But watching better players, for me, was watching that Spain versus Croatia game, and that's my personal opinion.
In regards to Spain versus Croatia, in terms of obviously quality and in terms of pedigree, that it's two more equally matched teams. So even though you finished 3-0 to Spain, like you said, it's two teams of quality players going at it. Okay,
that should have been the best game tonight, that one, but Spain blew them away, and Croatia looked like an aging squad, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course, because they had a lot of experienced player, but they were just being run down in the wings. So what Williams were doing in the wings, of course, the new kids on the block, of course, Yamela, what he was doing also, getting to penetrate the defense of Croatia. So I feel that should have been the best game, but for me, Croatia didn't live up to the expectation that we know them for. Looking at the kind of experienced players they have, I was hoping to see a lot of defense splitting passes from Luka Modric today, but I didn't get to see that. Of course, I didn't get to see them. They didn't come to the party in this particular game. I hope they also get to come to the party in the next game. of course, it was a good game. Morata, getting to score and also getting to be joint, third, highest goal scorer when it comes to the Euros. Of course, there was a lot of, quality moments in that particular game. But I did actually, love what Albania did today. That's why I went to pick, that particular game, because Italy for themselves as a defending champion, they were supposed to start this particular, tournament with a loud statement, for them to, tell the other lads that yes, we are coming to, defend our title, but we didn't get to see, much of, that play in the Italian team. But of course, this is just the start of the competition. We'll get to see them. Maybe they'll want to, grow into the competition as the competition, progresses. But of course, don't take a lot away from Albania. They might just come, to hit you at the back.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, I think I know I'm taking over again a little bit here, people, but I think that Switzerland. Yeah, it's just because I can see little moments of silence. So I'm just trying to my hosting of podcast just comes into play here. But I think
I'm not knocking it. I think it's really good.
yeah. So people, I think Switzerland. I know Spain had a great performance, but I think Switzerland looked like the strongest team today. I think until that last little bit of the game, they put in a very strong performance. They looked solid in the midfield, and I think that they will give Germany a really good go for their money. I know Germany looked very good against a poor Scotland team yesterday, but Switzerland, that midfield trio of Freuler and that other lad who got the goal and assist, and Granit Xhaka was sitting deeper. It was a very, very, very good performance by Switzerland today, because that Hungary side ain't no joke. They ain't a joke, and they made them look like a not very good team until the last 10 minutes. That is, but Switzerland, what they did, they played straight through the middle, so they had these little triangles in the middle of the pitch, and they were playing 1-2s, 1-2s, and 1-2s, and they were drawing the players out and then playing through the gaps, and that's what worked out well for them.
The Swiss have got a good squad. Jacques has had an unreal season for Leverkusen, so of course he was going to bring that into the tournament, albeit playing in a different role today. But with the Swiss, they can give anybody a game on their day. They've got a decent little outfit there. Even if they came up against, I don't know, the Spanish, the Italians, I wouldn't know necessarily who to go for, because they are a competitive side with some very good players who know how to play well for their country. And I think they're a decent outfit, and shouldn't be knocked. And teams can be vulnerable on their day. The Germans have shown that time and time again. I think they've got a better squad this time around as they did before in the Euros or in the World Cup before that. But football's a funny one, because although the games have gone the way that we have expected so far, in theory, any game can be formed on moments in a game. So a game can turn quickly, and an underdog can win if they put in a team performance. 11 great players versus 11 decent but not great players, but are playing as a team. The one playing decent but a team of players is going to beat the team of great players that aren't playing together. So I think it's about a lot of different dynamics, and I think Morocco definitely showed that in the World Cup with players like Hakimi, for instance, who was just unbelievable in that tournament.
Yeah.
As with Bono, the goalkeeper Bono.
Yeah,
I hope I haven't butchered his surname there, but yeah, he was fantastic as well. So I think it's hard, although things have gone the way you would expect. I think people would have made a few quid in the punters going on the favourites so far. Things can always get more surprising as the tournament goes on, and in a way, I hope that happens, because you don't want a tournament where everybody, the expected teams get through really easily, because that doesn't make for great viewing. So I hope I hope that there are a few surprises along the way, and I think there will be, just not early in the tournament.
Just hopefully it's not for our England game, people. We'll carry on. I'll ask everyone around. So I'll start off with Kurt. We'll work our way around from Adam and then down. I will start off with who impressed me the most today, and it's that Aib Aisha from Switzerland, the number 10, who got the goal and assist, who played next to Freuler. He was very, very good player today. Kurt, I know you watched a couple of the games today. Who stood out for you? What player Do you know a player what kind of stood out for you?
Who's the geezer? I butchered his name earlier. Was it Barillo? What was the geezer's name?
And Nicolo Barella.
Yeah, he stood out because I know, like, I think like his name's been floating around for some time, and yeah. And who's the other? Is it what's the geezer's name? Starts CHIE with the winger, plays for Italy.
Chiesa, Federico Chiesa.
Yeah, he's another talent where his name's been floating for some time, and he kind of impressed me in the time he was playing.
Like, at the Euros, he did. He's the one who absolutely bossed us at the Euros. Chiesa was, in the final. Yeah, but Chiesa, Federico Chiesa plays at Juventus, and Nicolo Barella plays at Inter Milan. He normally plays predominantly as a central defensive midfielder, but he played as an 8 today for Inter, which actually worked out really well for Italy, which actually worked out really well. There you go, some more stats for you people. Adam.
For me, it would have to be Fabian Ruiz in the Spanish side.
Yeah.
He was fantastic today. What a great performance that was. To be honest, you could pick from any of the three of the Spanish trio in attack today. They were unbelievable. Blue Croatia way. I mean, look, lads, as we all said, we thought that would be a competitive game. I think I sent it in a few group chats with different mates, looking forward to Spain, Croatia, and it was a non-contest really for the most part. I know Croatia, had that penalty scenario where it was disallowed and all the rest of it, but it was a one team game, that one, and Croatia never looked like getting near them. And I don't know whether that's aging squad or Spain just played a blinder or both. It could have been both.
AJ?
Yeah, I want to pick Yamila because for a kid like that, 16 years old, and he was able to provide an assist in his first Euros. Looking at that particular game, he was not scared because he was playing with the big boys. Of course, a young kid like that, showing what the stuff he was made of. I feel I want to give him all the kudos in that particular one. He was in the game up to like 86 minutes before he was substituted thereabout. So I want to single him out as the best player for me today because he was able to do the job in that particular ring. He provided an assist. And he came close to score, but his shot was being blocked. So for me, I'll pick him to be my best, player for the day. Of course, we hope to see him, get to score in this particular tournament, and for him, to contribute his own quota because the Spanish team are looking like a team that will definitely go far in this tournament, and players like him and Williams also will definitely play a vital role to ensure that the Spanish team, progress to the semifinals, eventually in the finals as well.
Very, very good. Adam, you got any questions for us before I keep taking over? I don't want to keep taking over on your podcast. I don't want to do it.
No, it's brilliant. Just to explain, guys, if I've looked slightly preoccupied at times, I was hoping that we would have a few more viewers, but still,
I've shared it for you.
We've had a good discussion in any event, and that's absolutely fine because we can always talk football amongst us. Questions. I suppose no. A point of clarification is probably more it. I don't necessarily think England will fail at this tournament. I know what I said about the quarterfinals earlier, but I think I agreed with your point, Jamie. And just to elaborate on it, we left out quite a few experienced players. And when it comes to tournament football, now all of us here are Arsenal fans. We saw what happened in the Bayern Munich Arsenal game. And everybody said it was because Arsenal didn't have that experience in that competition. And that's why we got knocked out of that tournament. Now, I think if England players gel together in the right way, I think Cole Palmer will be unbelievable. I love Cole Palmer. I think he's a great player. I think if we ever get a penalty shootout, Palmer's scoring his penalty. We all know that. Yeah. That's absolutely going to happen. The guy hasn't missed a penalty since he started taking them. So we're in safe hands there. But in terms of just whether the team gel together, that is a big question mark. And I think we'll know a lot more tomorrow. We've got Luke Shaw in the squad who's not going to be able to play tomorrow. Our defensive line is a question mark. We don't know who will be playing in defence. We don't know who Southgate's going to go with. That's a big, unsure. And the defence is the weakest part of our side. So it really comes down to this, whether the midfield and attack can gel enough that our lack of experience in defence doesn't matter. Now, I'm not a massive fan of Harry Maguire, but I think he does have tournament experience and he has done well in tournament football, to be fair to him. He scored some goals from corners. He obviously scored that penalty against Italy in the Euros final. So I think, I was surprised he left a couple of certain players out. I praised it at the time because the squad looked like it had a lot of flair. And then we played Iceland. Now, a lot of people have said to me, Adam, why are you going off that game? It doesn't mean anything. It's pointless. It's a pointless game. And I can see where they're coming from. But the issue is nothing gelled. It didn't gel in that game. So are we really saying that it's going to be that much different? A matter of 7 to 10 days since that game took place. So, I mean, my prediction is if it gels, we'll get to the semis minimum. If it doesn't, then who knows? That's what I would say about England's prospects in the tournament. Desperately hope we win it. We all want it to come home. I'd love to see England win a tournament in my lifetime. It'd be absolutely unbelievable. But we just don't have huge amount to go off from the last tournament where, we came up against France in the quarters. But, again, that was experience. How many chances did we have in that game, lads? We should have beaten them comprehensively, and we didn't.
Shall I give you a bit of context on Iceland going into that fixture against us, boys? So that friendly against us, they lost their previous game 4-0 to the Netherlands. They'd lost 2-1 to Ukraine. They'd lost 4-2 to Slovakia, and they'd lost 2-0 to Portugal. So their 4 games, they scored 2 goals, conceding 14. That's the context going into that Iceland game. But I'm gonna pose a question for everyone here. I'll give you my opinion first. Who is the most important player in this England squad? And then people are going to say to me, biasness, why I say my answer. But Declan Rice is the most important player in this squad. So Declan Rice, we've got no cover for. Him there, the only world-class player you can put with Bellingham and Harry Kane. If you take out Declan Rice, we've already got a poor defence. You take out Declan Rice picks up a knock, we are done for. We keep Declan Rice in the team, we have a chance. It's quite simple. Whereas I think if you take out Kane, who's very, very important, you could put in a Tony, you could put in a Watkins. If you take out Rice, you're putting in Kobe Mainoo, who's not internationally proven. Don't get me wrong, great player. He's not internationally proven. He's 18 years old, playing in front of billions of people across the world, 60,000 people in a hostile situation. Because Germany is a very, very hostile ground for England. Let's not forget that, people. Germany is hostile for England. It's not like the Netherlands going there. England is very hostile. We all know the history there, yeah? So, Declan Rice is England's most important player, in my opinion. Curtis, what do you think, pal?
Yeah, you're right, because it's Declan Rice at the base. The midfield, as you've seen with Arsenal, games are lost, or won or lost in the midfield, and the same thing. Then if it's about we control the midfield, if we get overrun in midfield, we're going to lose the game. So you're right. It's about our midfield trio, how tight we keep it together. That's why me and you had that debate earlier about who plays the 6, 8, and 10. That's why I personally wanted to go with Bellingham in the 10, Rice in the 8, and Mainoo in the 6. But even with that, Mainoo's young and inexperienced. I can understand why you wanted, why you wanted Rice in the 6, and why you wanted Trent to play 8 because of creativity, and then Bellingham to sit as a 10 because Bellingham will sit behind the second, as a second striker behind obviously Kane. So yeah, like you say, it comes down to midfield. We just got to hope that Rice can stay fit. So
yeah, very good insight there, brother. Very, very good insight. Adam, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I completely agree, but I'll throw another player in there just for variation as well. Declan Rice, definitely, because you see what happens without him in the team. I mean, it's quite clear that without him in the team, the mechanics of that side are just gone. The other player, I think, might be very interesting for us if he can play in the way that we have seen him play for Chelsea, is Cole Palmer. I honestly think Cole Palmer is an unbelievable player. Now,
Talent.
if anybody wants to challenge me on that, let's go. Let's have a debate. But I think Cole Palmer is absolutely phenomenal, and I think what he's done for a pretty bang average Chelsea side in this season, and he's so young. I mean, what, he's 20? Is he 20?
Yeah, 20.
I mean, he's like, that's nothing in football terms. Even in football terms, that's nothing. He'll be in his peak in 6-7 years' time. If this is 7 years before his peak, how good is he going to be? Like I said, we get to a penalty shootout, and sorry, I mean, England fans will know with very painful memories that penalties, we've been heartbroken time and time again. So I think if it comes to penalties, he's going to score it, and I think he should play in the side. And there will be people that disagree with me there. There'll be people that say, "Well, sorry, there are better players, and we've got to put this person in, and this person in." Where's who you're going to drop for Cole Palmer? But I think he needs to play. That's my opinion.
You would have to drop Bukayo Saka. That's who you would have to drop, and I wouldn't drop Bukayo Saka. He's England's second leading goal scorer going into the tournament. That's the position that Palmer plays in. Second leading goal scorer going into this tournament. He's the second. Well, he's the fourth most experienced player going into the tournament as well. Because obviously you've got Declan Rice, you've got Harry Kane, you've got Kyle Walker, and you've got Luke Shaw, and then Stones. And then Saka's kind of the more experienced one there. And then that means you'd have to drop a Foden. And then Foden has actually been in arguably better form than Palmer. But I get what you're saying. But the thing is with Palmer, you take out a Palmer, you've got Foden to come in. So that's what I kind of think on that one. But yeah, I back it, bro, because you wanted to put a bit of variation out there. But yeah, I'll completely back Palmer as an exceptional player. I think, taking my biasness out of it, if Saka plays poorly the first game, Palmer deserves to come in and have his shot.
Yeah.
If Foden plays poorly, then Anthony Gordon deserves to come in and have a shot. And what we found from that friendlies, when we played Iceland in the friendly before Palmer started both games, that was his audition, his job interview, and he didn't play. He didn't show the reason why he should start over Bukayo Saka. And that's simply as it is. The Iceland game, the 70th minute, Bukayo Saka came on with Alexander-Arnold. The game changed. We looked like a different squad because of Bukayo Saka, Alexander-Arnold, and Ivan Toney. So if you're putting in a Palmer, I think his audition and his interview has failed. But I think if Bukayo Saka plays poorly in the first game, then Palmer does deserve to come in. And that's what I think.
I agree, Jamie, in that I wouldn't drop Saka. I wouldn't drop Saka at this point. Yeah. So I agree with you there. He needs to start Saka, clearly.
And then it turns into either Bellingham being dropped because he plays as a 10. Palmer plays off the right as a 10.
It's a shame, isn't it, in a way? We've got so much quality.
That's the position we're best.
Okay. I also want to agree with you guys as well. Declan Rice is the most important, player in the team. But I still want to pick about, three players who also they are very, very most important as well. I'll pick the goalkeeper. It's very important because if you allow him to go now, I don't trust Ramsey at this particular point because he's been off game for some time. And also Headington, the one that keeps for Crystal Palace. No doubt about it. He's a good keeper, no doubt. But you wouldn't want to, take him, your number one out at this point. Of course, Harry Kane is the leader of the team. You can, take him out of this, particular competition. You can actually, downplay the roles he actually play in that particular team. And of course, Bukayo Saka, who for me is the most experienced, winger, going into this, particular tournament for England. So I feel those four players, England can do without them in this, particular, competition. And also, when you look at the middle of the pack, I strongly believe if you can have the pair of the likes of Declan Rice, have Trent Arnold, and you have, Jude Bellingham, playing as the three players in the middle of the park. I believe they can be able to do the magic. Declan Rice will sit down, Arnold with all those, splitting, defense splitting passes, and also Jude Bellingham, of course, also good when it comes to, passing up the ball. And the likes of Harry Kane, who is good with the head, arena ball as well. Saka can come from the wings. Then Foden also comes on the wings. I think Cole Palmer will struggle in this particular tournament because this will be like his first, senior competition he will be going for, participating in. So I feel he still needs to come from the bench. He should not be starting, despite the fact that we saw him lighting up towards the end of the season for Chelsea. But I still believe that he should still come from the bench. He still have a lot of things to learn. While sitting on the bench and watching the boys. But all by and large, I still feel England still stand a chance of winning this particular title because of the quality of player they have in their house now. I feel they should still get to go far in this particular tournament.
Back it, brother. I'll back it. I don't.
So,
I think
so
Kyle
Jamie,
Walker will be good as well. Kyle Walker important as well. Big
Of course,
time.
Kyle Walker is important as well, no doubt.
Most
Kurt,
experienced.
you're about to say something, brother?
yeah, I was just gonna say, touching on like Cole Palmer in terms of like best position, because this is always a conversation for debate. Like, where is his best position? Some are saying he's a central attacking midfielder. Some are saying he's a right winger. So that in itself is a debate.
Yeah, 100%. Personally, I think Kyle Walker in them last two friendlies looked like jet laggy, if it's almost to say. He looked a bit under the weather. He looked a bit slower off the mark, and I don't know what it is. That Iceland goal was Kyle Walker, if I'm not wrong, his fault. I hope he don't take that form into the tournament, but he did look that way for Man City towards the latter end of the season as well. He looked a bit laggy. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that Kyle Walker's looking a bit laggy lately.
Would you want to pair him with John Stones and allow Trippier to play the number 2 position?
What shall I read out? We can all say what we think Southgate's 11 will be. Are we all right doing that? Yeah, lads.
Yeah, sure.
I think he'll play Jordan Pickford. Right back,
Mhm.
he will play Kyle Walker with Guehi and with John Stones. Left back, if Luke Shaw's not fit, will be Trippier. And then he will play with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Declan Rice. In front of them will be Bellingham, then it will be Saka, then it will be Foden and Kane up top. That's what I think Southgate's starting 11 will be. Kurt, what do you think it'll be, mate?
So, I'm kind of in line with that as well. But I was a few minutes ago, I was thinking of saying, why do we think that Trent will start ahead of Conor Gallagher? Because Gallagher can also play an 8.
It's because Trent's been given the number 8 number. I
You
mean, in
think 'cause of
England, yeah, so it kind of England, it's not with like Arsenal and club level, but internationals, they
Yeah,
normally use 1 to 11. England are old school like that. If it's 1 to 11, that's
yeah.
normally their starters. I think that's kind of the right way of saying it. I think normally with England, when do you normally see an England player starting with number 23? It's not
You're right.
very often.
You got a valid point. So you're saying you think Trent's going to start ahead of Gallagher?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
For sure, 100%.
When you look at the qualities,
yeah.
when you look at the qualities between both player, Trent can actually give you passes from anywhere from the pitch. He can give you defense, splitting passes. So I feel he has a lot to contribute to the team. No doubt about it. Carragher is a good player, but I feel Trent has a lot to contribute to the team more than Carragher in that particular one.
So your front three, sorry, go on.
My front
Jamie?
three was Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, and Kane. This is not what I think the squad should be. This is what Southgate would go out the squad. Trent Alexander-Arnold, like I touched on before, people, is creatively our best player. Creatively, when he's got the ball at his feet and we want to pick out a pass, get people through, play between the lines, he's our man. Bellingham's not that type of player. Neither is Declan Rice. We all know this. So Alexander-Arnold should play the 8 to be able to play that. All plays a deep line playmaker. It's either or either. What's your squad, Kurt? What you thinking Southgate will play?
Similar to you, really. My only thing like we cared about was obviously the number 8 position, but you're probably right. Like if like you say, Shaw's not fit, we've seen Trippier before at left back, so that makes sense. Like Stones and Gay in the centre back pairings with potentially sometimes Stone overloading the midfield, or sometimes you might say Walker on the right, inverting, depends. But Walker does have. He's usually quite good at recovery on the inversion, but like you say, if he's looked leggy, then maybe Carl would just stay as a sort of right back and just have Stones inverting, or maybe not even invert. But like I say, because Walker's starting to look, because Walker must be pushing 34 now, right? He's getting a bit old.
Yeah, he's 34, 33, 34. And you know what the good thing about that is, Kurt, as well. Playing Kyle Walker there, if he wants to come up on the right hand side and bomb forward, that's what Ben White does. And Saka sits back and helps. So Kyle Walker does have that protection with Bukayo Saka, whereas when Trent Alexander-Arnold plays right back and inverts, there's no protection there. So when Kyle Walker plays right back, Saka does protect, but he can't protect when Alexander-Arnold is inverting. If we get what I'm saying, people.
Yeah.
Adam, you're starting 11, my brother.
Yeah, Pickford in goal, of course. Ramsdale won't get a look in, sadly, which is a shame for him. Yeah, I think I'd probably go the same back line as you. I think he's probably going to have to go with that. I don't see what he can revert to in any event. Agree with what you all are saying about Trent. Trent looks like his position from now on is midfield. It looks like that right back role is redundant for him now. Not that he can't play there, just but he's a better midfielder than he is a right back. So he'll play Trent in that position with Rice, as you say. You can't, but he's not going to. I don't think he's going to revert from the Saka, Foden, Kane, as you said. And I think I don't see what he would do in because obviously as you rightly say, Saka has to come out for Palmer to play, or you have to take out Bellingham if you're going to play Palmer in the 10. So he's going to stick with the lineup that you suggested. I believe. I don't see what his other options are, and I think it will be who he brings off the bench, because obviously I want to say this as well. I quite like to see Kobbie Mainoo get some minutes as well. There's a lot of players that I thought he was sensational in the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Absolutely sensational. And I'd like to see these young players show their flair on an international stage. But Southgate has a trusted 11. You've seen it time and time again. Southgate trusts his core 11 group, and I don't think that will be very much reverted from the one you suggested, Jamie. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on Kobbie Mainoo quickly for you people. So Kobbie Mainoo, I think he will get his chance when we play against the bigger opposition. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, if you're coming up against France, for example, and they've got Chouameni and Camavinga in that central midfield partnership, you can't play with a Trent and a Declan Rice because he'll get too far forward. Declan Rice will be exposed. So if we've seen from previous competitions, he plays with Henderson and Calvin Phillips to double pivot as a 6 against bigger opposition. So that's what I think he'll play. He'll play with Kobbie Mainoo and Declan Rice when we come up against the likes of France. That's what I think he would do. He'll play with 2 defensive midfielders. But I don't think Mainoo gets a chance when it's a low block opposition. Yeah.
As far as you want to have like a good, starting 11, of course, you also need to have like a good bench. You also need to have, quality players who can actually, bring in creativity when you are in dire need of a player that will come off from the bench and do the magic. So I feel like you still have to, if you want to put, for me, if you want to put Foden on the bench and, get to start Palmer, of course, we know Foden can actually create, because from what we have seen last season in Man City, Foden has been, like the creative player for Pep Guardiola. So if you want to also do that, you want to also have someone who can come from the bench, and turn things around, who can change, the flow of the game, give you that spark that you would definitely need. I feel Southgate should actually look into that. Do not put all your best foot or to start the game, because at some point, there will definitely, the stamina will not be there. They will definitely gas out, of course. So you will need somebody who can come and, do the magic and, win games for you. So I feel, that also, will come to play. And again, as Serbia, no doubt about it, Serbia is a good team as well. But I feel those are the players. For what you have said, of course, good starting 11. Of course, if Kyle Walker, if his leg, are getting tired at this particular point, I would definitely want to push him to a centre back position, then bring in Trippier to play that number 2 position, and of course, your defenders are also there, the likes of John Stones' experience. But I feel what is really affecting England at this particular point is that they don't really have national team players. They just get to pick players because they're in form, and they bring them and play competition. It's just supposed to be like that. You're supposed to have like a certain players who that these players are national team players. They have their sport, come rain, come shine, even though they are not doing well in their team, in their various club, but at the national level, they still get to put on that impressive performance any day, anytime that they done that national colors. But I still feel at this particular point, they still need to groom so much players that would definitely be players of the national team, and not just bringing players because they're in top form in their clubs.
Of course. Oh, you know what I don't want to see, people, yeah? For everyone what's in here and everyone what's listening over on YouTube Live, or I've shared it over on my Twitter. I don't want to hear from tomorrow. I don't want to hear nothing about Southgate out. I don't want to hear nothing about this person should be this should that. You can criticise the players if they're not playing well, but I don't want to hear no agendas. I don't want to hear nothing like that. I don't want to hear Jack Grealish should have been in the squad. Nothing along them lines, because tomorrow the tournament starts. We back our boys. They're putting on the England shirt and they're playing for us and our country. So we need to back them, and that will help them rather than getting on their back, because these footballers, they do check their social media. They do see what's going on. So we need to back them. So people will go like, oh, Saka was awful. He was crap. No, it needs to be Saka. He didn't play too well, and that's why Cole Palmer comes in. You didn't play too well, so you deserve to be dropped, and that's when someone else comes in. It's not like, oh, Saka this, Saka that. No way, Southgate out. No, we do not need that. Whether we draw, lose, or win the first game, let's get behind the boys and back them, because that's the best way of them getting through this, because they're a young core of players. I don't know if everyone's in agreement with that.
Completely agree. The agenda against some England players needs to be dead and buried, and it should be dead and buried. The media should be positive when we go into tournament football, and like you say, we're here debating about players, but don't do it while it's on. Don't do it once that game starts, and don't do it until the tournament is finished. And if you're going to criticize at the end of a tournament, do it in a positive and constructive way.
Yeah, exactly right. That's literally what I'm putting out there, people, because we can, after the game, don't get me wrong, we'll sit here and we'll analyse the game, whether we played good or bad. But we can criticise, and constructive criticism, like you have just touched on, Adam. But it can't be, oh no, limpy Saka or this, that, the other. It can't be nothing like that. It's just got to be, bring in the next lad. You haven't played too great. That's it, mate. Simple as that. And we can sit here and analyse that, but there's constructive criticism, and then there's just being negative, and that's what we don't need, because we know what England fans can be like. Whether a Tottenham player is out there playing, I'm supporting them because they're English.
Yeah,
my agenda stops from club football once England step out on the pitch. Whether Harry Kane takes Spurs, I don't care. Because all agendas are out the window. And people, I've got one more thing to touch on here. Why we could go far in this tournament. There is not one Spurs player. There's no Spursy player in there, boys. No Spursy player. Come on.
Did you see the meme? Did you see the meme?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, it was fantastic. It's basically a massive crowd of people celebrating, beers going up, and the caption was, "No Spurs players in the squad."
Yeah, see, look, we can have an agenda because there's no Spurs players there, so it's all right. We're not criticising no Spurs players. We're not even at the tournament. So, James Maddison, I know you, brother. You're from Coventry. I know a lot of people that you know. I know you, Madders. So I can actually say things to you, brother, because I can get my cousins and that to message you right now. But there you have it. I can wind you up a little bit. Anything else people want to touch on, boys?
Just to add to what you said, Jamie, we should be grateful for every single player that's in that squad. Saka is an unbelievable talent. He should get zero criticism. And I'm not saying that as an Arsenal fan. I'm saying that as a football fan. Like, none of these players should be criticised unless, of course, as we were saying, it's a constructive and positive, method or mechanism. Just saying, oh, well, he could maybe do this better or that better. There's a way to criticise football players,
of course there is.
And the media don't know how to do it. And to be honest with you, that's shocking, really. After years and years and years of negative media attention on players, obviously, I think Michael Owen famously said that it really got him down as well. That he got a huge amount of criticism.
Always had an agenda with certain players. It was Wayne Rooney at one point. It was Raheem Sterling at one point.
Yeah, Sterling. Yeah,
and now it's kind of leaning towards Jude Bellingham now. Yeah. If anyone's noticed how much heavily criticism he's getting now, he is. It was Saka.
Of course, Bukayo Saka, no doubt about it. He's very, very important player. He has played 33 games for England. He has scored 11 goals. It shows that he's just 22 years of age. Of course, started his international career, full national team player in 2020 during the Euros. Of course, we should definitely get to appreciate him for what he has been able to do for England, for such a young talent at this particular point. What we should do at this point in time is for us to encourage him. Of course, he will definitely deliver. I see him delivering for England in this particular tournament if injury does not get to take him out.
Yeah, I think I want to touch on another thing here. So obviously, we talk about media agenda, and that obviously comes with racism. So the worst thing you can do with racism, people, and this is me pointing this out, and I've seen it. There's people what sit there and ignore it. That is helping. That is helping them. That is helping them. When you see it happening, you need to stand up to it and say it is wrong, and you don't want to hear it. Because I've seen people. It happens. People just sit there and ignore it. They think it's wrong, but they don't stand up to it. They just sit there and go, "Oh, that's wrong." They don't say anything. No, that is wrong. Quite simple. And that's how you. Let's be honest, people. We're never going to cut it out. It's never going to stop because there's people who don't have the right mindset. Yeah. But what we can do to help is by standing up to it. That's the way we can help it, not by just ignoring it. And then people need to open their eyes and see what's happening. So then we have a great tournament. The lads have a great tournament, whether they're black or white. They can have a great tournament, not have to worry about being racially abused.
Absolutely. Completely, 100 million % agree with that.
Yeah. Stand up to it. Don't ignore it.
Wow. Who will
Yeah.
be the highest goal scorer in this particular tournament?
Yeah. Hopefully we don't see it.
No. Who will be the highest goal scorer in this particular tournament?
Top goal scorer. I said this. I think I said it to you, Adam. I said it on my podcast before it even started. Before Germany game tomorrow, I said Kai Havertz. I did. Adam, did I say Kai Havertz?
Yeah, you did. You did. Can back you there, brother. Yeah, definitely 100%.
Everyone laughed at me.
It's a good shout. No, it's a good shout. He's already got one.
If Germany go far, he's leading the line.
Yeah, he's already got one.
Yeah.
Started well.
Yeah. Kurt, are you stalled? Oh, no, I thought you were stalled.
Highest goal scorer. No, I don't know. I want to go Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer, come on. Love that, bro. I love that, bro.
So you agree? You agree with me?
I'm going for it because I'd love Kai Havertz because if he did score loads of goals, it'd be really good for like a pre-season when they go to America and for next season. But I just think Cole Palmer, or as they call him, Cold Palmer.
I look at more than my own shout because Kai Havertz is an Arsenal player, but I'm supporting England, so I'd rather Cole Palmer be the top goal scorer than Kai Havertz, mate, any day of the week. Yeah. What are you saying, Adam? Who are you thinking, brother?
Harry Kane.
Spursy.
I think it could be. Oh, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Mbappe isn't. See, saying Mbappe too obvious. I feel like
that's what I would have said Mbappe, but I had to go something different.
I think. I think Mbappe could if he starts well, and that's horribly obvious. So I do apologise to everybody watching this now and watching this after the fact. That's a very obvious thing to say. We have a comment. We have our first comment of the night.
Is it going to be Ben? Game bit.
Hi, game
Hello,
bit.
Game bit 1, 2, 3. Can you? I will ask you a question. Game bit 1, 2, 3. Are you watching the Euros and do you enjoy football?
Great question.
There you go. Open question, people. Closed questions get silly answers. Open questions get good answers.
Just before game bit 1, 2, 3 answers that, I think the shining stars, I should say, of the tournament for England, Palmer, Kobbie Mainoo. Just putting it out there now.
Yeah. Well, I did remember on that other podcast that we did, I said before the tournament started, Kai Havertz top goal scorer, and I said Florian Wirtz would be the young player. That's who I said. And then
game bit 1, 2, 3 has replied with yes.
Yes. Who is your favourite player? Game bit 1, 2, 3. There you go. Keep them coming.
Keep firing in those comments. We love.
Yeah. Okay.
asking.
I'll put out some questions, people. Just to keep it going a little bit.
There we go. We've got another
Oh.
comment from Gamebit 123. Very keen. We love it. Modric.
Everyone wanted to touch on Modric a little bit. I'll say Luka Modric is a great player. Looked very, very poor today. Looked a bit out of sort. Curtis, you want to touch on Modric?
Yeah, similar to what you say, that quality player. You know, he's been good in some previous, tournaments at international level, even at club level. You know, the last couple of times we've seen him at club level, he's been quite solid. But obviously, you know, he's coming to the end of his career. But I just think today that their team essentially was flat. So it wasn't just a reflection on them. It's just as a team themselves, they just wasn't up to compete. Where they, as we saw today, you know, not able to get on the score sheet. Guardiola missing chances, etc. So he's had a great career. He's had a great career, Modric.
I think it may be jet lag from the Champions League final. You know.
Do you reckon? Well, fallout from because
they were still celebrating the trophy on Tuesday.
Of course,
Gamebit 123 agrees with you.
yeah.
I've heard that a lot of times tonight. You know.
This
Gamebit
particular
123,
game
can I
today.
ask you a quick question? Who do you think the semi-finals are going to be? Gamebit 123. What are your predictions for the semis and then the final, if you're brave enough?
AJ, what were you touching on then, brother?
Sorry, BJ.
Yeah,
I interrupted.
yeah,
My apologies.
yeah. This particular game today between Croatia and Spain, for me, it was like a midfield battle. And when you have the likes of Rodri, when you have a Pedri, in the middle of the pack, and also you have the likes of Kovacic, you have Modric. I think that really affected Croatia today because the battle was in the middle of the pack, and for me, Croatia had like a tired legs in the middle of the pack, while the likes of Spain has players who are well mobile, who still have fresh leg. Of course, Rodri is solid at the back, playing the number 4 position, number 6 position, and you guys rightly said. So I feel that was really affected, Modric today. There was no space for him to throw those, defense splitting passes, and Kamaric also, who was, playing as the top 9 for Croatia, who was just hiding behind, the defenders. He didn't go to spaces for him to be free to receive balls. I think that was one of those, things that really affected, Croatia today. And of course, Spain, they have a lot of, experienced players all in the mix, did the job, and they get to win the game on a clean sheet.
Yeah, there you go.
Gamebit 123 did reply, boys. England, France, Spain, Germany for the semis. And Gamebit 123 believes football's coming home and that England are going to win the tournament.
Go on then, Gamebit 123. Thank you for your lovely comments. And remember, Gamebit 123, to hit that free like combination. So bam, bam, bam. So like, subscribe, and comment down below. Thank you very much for your comments. There you go, Adov.
Thank you.
A lot of podcasts.
Yeah, you're doing well. They're doing very well there. Right, we've got another comment, everybody. It's starting to get going. We're the North Bank.
Oh, here he is, Sparksy.
Go on then. Sparksy.
Sparksy.
Of course it's Sparksy.
Here we go, boys. We're in for it now. I'm here for some torrid abuse here now, boys. What you saying, Sparksy? What we saying? It's because I shared it over on my Twitter, so you might have picked it up. Sparksy, give us some thoughts on the game tonight, brother. I'll keep plugging away here with us, lads. I'll keep plugging away. So, the fixtures tomorrow. Who are you thinking is going to shine like the best? What team is going to be best, and who's going to surprise tomorrow? Who's going to surprise you tomorrow, people? Kurt, I'll pull the fixtures up and I'll read them out to everyone. Yeah. So, with tomorrow's fixtures, we have. I should know them off by heart by now, but we have Slovenia versus Denmark, Serbia versus England, and Poland versus Netherlands. I'll change the question. What is going to be the best game to watch, Curtis?
I would have said ours, but that's just me being biased, to be fair.
Yeah,
taking the bias story. Poland Netherlands might be interesting because, because the last couple of times we've seen Poland at some of these competitions, they've been better than expected. They've been, it's almost been an eye opener. But then saying that Slovenia Denmark should be interesting as well, because I think that's an evenly matched game as well.
Yeah, some very, very good games. There's some. Oh, actually, you know what, people? I'm going to change the question here. Actually, I've got a really, really, really good question, and Sparks, he's put Serbia. That's what does he mean by Serbia? Sparks, what do you mean by Serbia, bro? Well, you think Serbia are going to beat England, or the most surprising team? Oh, that's what I think he's going for. All right,
They'll be up
AJ,
for it.
over to you, brother. I mentioned this over on mine and Sparks' podcast, bro. I said that the group stage at the Euros is better than the World Cup, because I think it's a lot more competitive, and I think you get better games. Whereas at the World Cup, you could have Saudi Arabia, who are 90th, playing against Brazil, who are ranked third in the world. Whereas there's no lower than 30th at this current Euros. What do you think, brother? I'm not saying the knockout rounds. World Cup knockout rounds are much better, but the group stages.
It's more competitive, certainly in the Euros. Like you
Yeah,
see more
yeah, yeah,
evenly matched games
yeah,
compared to World
Do
Cup.
you
Because,
think
like I
the
say,
Euros
yeah.
group stage is better?
yeah, there's,
Yes, yes, yes. I wouldn't agree less. I want to say yes, because when you look at football at this point is well developed in Europe, and no doubt about it. The European, countries are good when it comes to football than the other parts of the continent in the world. Despite the fact that other continents also supposed to be one of the best when it comes to winning the World Cup title, such as Brazil. We know for a fact that one of the most successful teams when it comes to the World Cup. But when it comes to the group stage, just like you have just pointed out, I want to agree with you because of the quality of the players in Europe. So I want to agree with you that yes, Europe as the best when it comes to the group stage. And don't also, did you watch the AFCON? Of course, there was a lot of
Yeah, yeah. There was
interesting
some good
games
games over the
during the
AFCON, brother.
AFCON. Of course, at some
Some
point, I even
I
tweeted on
support
my
Nigeria,
Twitter.
brother. So
Of course.
yeah,
At some point, I even tweeted that, wow, this is like one of the best AFCON we've seen for a very, very long time. We saw a lot of, competitive, games during the group stage. Of course, teams that we're not even expecting did actually produce unbelievable result. And we hopefully want to see that in the Euros as well. But from what we have seen so far, is beginning to give up that spark that we should watch out for big games in this particular tournament. Of course, tomorrow games will be definitely be a match watching game, no doubt about it. Slovakia against Denmark, Serbia against England, Poland against Netherlands. For me, that should be the biggest game for tomorrow. No disrespect to the Serbia versus England game, but Poland, of course, the
yeah.
likes of Robert Lewandowski,
Robert Lewandowski's
net,
injured for the whole group
yeah,
stage, just to let people
uh,
know.
of
That's
course,
big.
yeah. Of course, they still have some quality players in their mix
Yeah,
as
they do.
well. The Netherlands as well, of course. We saw, that build up to the Euros, getting to win games with, a good fine margin. Of course, they're also, ready to give teams a run for their money. You just have to, watch out for Netherlands as well. And they might go all the way to the semi-finals if their path to the, to the knockout stage is not loaded. But you should expect them, to spring a lot of good results in their campaign as well.
Yeah, I can back that, brother. James,
We have
do you want to
a
read out
few
the comments
comments.
first, James?
Yeah, we've had a few comments coming in. We've had obviously one to watch tomorrow from Sparksy.
Don't listen to him.
Waffles waffling. He's up to his
Jamie's Waffles football.
he's up to his tricks. And
Yeah.
we've had one just now from Gamebit 123, which is a very
Yeah.
interesting comment. I think the group game that will be toughest. I
Tough.
think you mean. Do you mean tough? Gamebit 123.
Yeah, you mean
for
tough.
England in the group will be Denmark, and I think that's a very good shout because I think Denmark have got quite a lot of established players. And that could very well be a tough match. So I
Yeah,
completely
well, they've got a
agree.
very experienced midfielder in Christian Eriksen, don't they? They've got Højbjerg. They've got a few
Højbjerg,
very experienced players over in the Premier League. They've got Vestergaard from over Southampton ways, which are just coming back up to the Premier League. They've got Kasper Schmeichel in goal. They've got quite a few experienced players. Spitting bars again, ain't I?
I think if you had to, I know this is a bit of a thing to ask, but if you had to predict the game bit 1, 2, 3, what do you think the score of that one will be?
Good question.
We've had a new one from Sparksy.
Oh no.
Thoughts on the Spain player Rodri? I think should have been sent off, but the English ref bottled it.
What?
Thoughts,
Sparksy? Sparksy, you know what, Sparksy? I'm going to say something. You've been sitting here saying I'm waffling, yeah? And I said, I've been saying this. I said, the English referee,
He
you've
was
just
terrible.
commented exactly what I said. Did I say this? Do you want me to comment on it first?
The English referee was dreadful.
Yeah, I said, look, Sparks. I said, the referees have been perfect. The semi-automated offside worked perfectly. And then as soon as the English referees come over, look what happens, people.
So we've got some comments from GameBit123. He's answered the question. So thank you, GameBit123. And also massive thanks for subscribing. I just saw that just now. Thank you very much. So GameBit123 says 2-1 and to England. England wins 2-1 against Denmark. I think that's a very sensible prediction, GameBit123. I don't think we're going to blow anyone away in the group stage, personally. I think they'll be tight. They'll be tight games. We'll win them, but they'll be tight games. Anyone contest that?
I've got a contester. I'm contesting.
Great. Fantastic.
I'm sorry, brother. I've contested you on another thing, and I feel bad about it.
No, it is fantastic. It's good to get the conversation going. Go for it.
I think Serbia will be a harder game than Denmark, and I think that Denmark won't sit behind the ball. They'll try and go toe to toe with us, and we'll bat on 3 or 4-1.
Yeah, Denmark will come at us like you say. With Serbia might come, whereas like Serbia, like you say, might come with like a low block and counter-attacking football.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking behind it.
I'm not too sure, but I think they have changed the rules. When a player is going to score and he's in the box and he's been fouled, and if he's the last player in the middle of the box, there will be a penalty that will be given, but it will be like a yellow card. But if the player is outside the box, then it will definitely be a red card. So I feel Oliver was correct for that particular call. So it should be a yellow card in that particular.
Yeah, but so Scotland yesterday, he got a red card for the penalty. But I'm just going to elaborate on this because everyone was getting confused over that on AJ. But you're exactly correct. If it's a penalty, it can only be a yellow card. But yesterday in the Scotland game, it was deemed as dangerous foul play.
That was a reckless foul. Yes, that was a reckless foul.
That's why they gave the red card as well as the penalty. But you are completely right, AJ, brother. Great knowledge that is.
VJ Wale, not AJ. You'd be calling him
AJ. Sorry, my brother. Do you know what it is? Because Arsenal and Jay, I'm Jay Gooner, I'm an Arsenal. It just matches. Can I call you AJ from now on, bro? You look like an AJ. It makes my life easier because in 2 minutes' time, brother, I'm going to forget your name, VJ. I'm going to call you AJ again.
It's all right. It's okay. But it's VJ, though.
It's VJ.
VJ Wale.
Lads,
can you meet me halfway and say
only works when you go for the ball. Double jeopardy only works when you go for the ball, lads. New comment.
It was a 2-footed challenge straight at your shit. It was a red card all day.
Can you just drop your Twitter handle so that I can follow you guys and you can follow us up on Twitter as well.
Yeah, man, of course.
GameBit123 is enjoying the hysterics with a lol and
the waffling from me per usual.
We're a very entertaining bunch. GameBit123. We're full of laughs and fun and all sorts.
Yeah, very much so.
Keep coming back.
Yeah, keep coming back. Well, he's hit that 3-punch. He's hit that 3-punch combination by commenting, liking, and subscribing. He's done all 3. So big up to you, GameBit123, and big shout out to you, my brother.
Big respect.
Yeah.
Another one from Sparksy, just in. The Rodri one.
Oh, the Rodri. I don't even think he touched him. I thought he just kicked the floor.
The geezer kicked the floor and tripped on his own foot. It wasn't.
I thought it shouldn't even been a penalty. I thought they should have went to VAR, not given it as a penalty.
Yeah, because we saw the replay, but you're right. It should have probably gone to VAR, and they should have looked at VAR because on the replay, we can see they get guys like buckled.
They
Go on,
went to
VJ.
VAR. They went to VAR, and VAR actually confirmed that to be a penalty.
Yeah. What did
Yeah, they went
you
to VAR.
think,
Not
BJ? I've got your name right, bro.
Yeah, I feel the player should have just put the ball at the back of the net at that particular point because he can still play that ball to the back of the net. And
Yeah.
he gambled it, and at the end of the day, he went to the favor of Spain. So, but it was a penalty, no doubt about it, because he actually held his leg. But for me, I still felt he can still not put the ball at the back of the net. The net was just open. The keeper was not even standing on his way. He should
Yeah.
have just, smashed the ball at the back of the net and celebrate his own goal. But he left that to be a penalty at that particular point. So, and I feel that was too harsh on the rebound. They should have allowed him to play, but that's the rule anyway. Because if it was like a Spain, a player that ran into the box before the penalty was being kicked, then they will definitely have a replay. But since it was a Croatia player that did that, then there was no replay after the ball was in play already. But all the same, Croatia for me, they shot themselves on the foot today. They should have actually get that game to a draw. That particular goal should have actually given them a lifeline for them, to see the game through. But they didn't get to score, despite the fact that their fans were in the stadium, and their fans were their fans were more of their fans than that of the Spanish, in the stadium today. But by and large, it was a very good game, and 3 points to Spain, and they will take it to the next game.
Our two guests in the chat are disagreeing, everybody. Sparksy says he kicked him first. Gamebit123 disagrees and says he tripped. I watched the match. So we have contesting opinions in the comments, which is always entertaining.
What a surprise. Sparksy causing controversy. What an absolute surprise, people. Go on, Sparksy, lad. Up the Arsenal.
Gamebit123, you might have, I think you started watching us after we discussed this. So I'm interested to know your opinion, particularly as you seem to think England will win the tournament. And I'm loving the faith. Who do you think the surprise package from the England squad will be in Euro 2024? What's your take on that?
Sorry, guys, my dog's going to eat the microphone.
New comment. Thought on the Croatia player, Itch, I think his name ended with not smashing the ball into the roof of the net.
Should have got it. Is that the gaze that was like 6 yards out or whatever?
Yeah,
Kramaric. Oh, they all start with Itch, don't they? Don't they all end in Itch anyway, most of their players? Is that what he was saying?
Perisic, Kovacic.
Yeah, I think that's why he's saying it, because Sparksy's a very, very sarcastic person. I think it's a joke, man.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but he said thoughts on Croatia player Itch, and they're all Kovacic, Brozovic. It could be anyone.
Perisic, Modric.
Yeah.
Modric, Kovacic.
Where's Rebic? Where's Rebic?
Kramaric, Rebic.
Yeah,
where's Rebic?
Strinic, is he still around as well?
Yeah,
Perisic.
Yeah. I see. I clued onto it. I know
Matic.
Okay, Gamebit123. I love this comment. Really happy with this. Kobe Mainu. Yeah, that's who I said earlier. I think he could be brilliant if he's given some game time. Are you? Who do you?
I was impressed with that guy.
Premier League team. Who's your Premier League team? You Arsenal, Man United, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Let us know. But I completely agree with you. I think Mainu, if he's given minutes, will do very well.
Because he's underrated. He broke into the squad, isn't it, when they had injuries? And I remember, like, when the Manchester United game, I was an op in, obviously, behind enemy lines. I went up to see Manchester United versus Arsenal, and I sat in the United end, and the kid was amazing. Because he's like, 18 or something like that. You said, like, it's crazy the amount of talent this kid's got, you know.
It's like when Jack Wilshere broke through, isn't it? Like that. Mm-hmm. He was about that age.
4 yards out. That's what Sparksy says. He says, you got it.
Yeah.
So I think you've got the right player, Jamie, and he should have scored.
Mind you,
So
If I was a player, I would definitely score that goal. I would definitely. I'll use my left leg to score the goal. Because it was like an open net. There was no goalkeeper at that particular point. So you should have just scored and, get your name on the score sheet. But it is what it is.
a Man City fan, game bit 123. City I supported since 2016. So.
That says it
You
all.
know what?
got your
What
year,
he was
brother.
saying about putting rivalries aside, lads, he's done really well because he's gone for a Man United player. So
Yes.
kudos.
Yeah,
to
but
him.
he supported City. He supported City since 2016, not not pre 2008 or anything like that.
But, brother, he could be that age. He could be about 12, 13 years old because it's YouTube.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, because
Well,
I get a lot of
putting rivalries aside. Game bit 123. We rate that here.
Yeah,
We
game
rate
bit
that.
123. How old are you? Just as a quick question, because obviously you support City. Where did you love for City start? Is it because they've done well, or someone in your family supports City? But I'm assuming that you're a younger lad because you support Man City and you've been supporting since 2016. That's what I'm kind of assuming, because obviously I get it over on my TikTok quite a bit.
How good is Yamal, by the way?
Quality.
Quality player.
Yeah,
Quality player. So I've done 11 hours of streaming so far today, people.
massive respect.
The
Stamina,
boys here out doing bits.
Basically,
coffee, energy drinks. Which is it, Jamie?
Jamie's gonna do.
I've been
Jamie's
drinking a
basically.
cup of teas all day, boys.
Yeah,
He's on his
Love
8th
it
cup
for
of
the
tea.
tea.
Basically,
Good
Jamie's
stuff.
going to do 24-hour stream. He's not going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
going to
gonna
bed,
stay up
boys.
for-
I'm
he's
up to
gonna
the
stay
England
up
game tomorrow as well.
He's just going to start.
I'm doing all of Copper America, boys. Come over to my channel. I want to watch Gabriel Martinelli.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is very, very.
He's 38.
V.
You're talking about the fan. The game bit 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
Sparksy, we're the North Bank. I don't know if I've ever spoken to you before, but thank you for commenting. If you could hit that 3-punch combination by liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. Thank you very much, Sparks.
Game bit 123 says, when I was 5, because I like the colour blue.
Yeah, see, he was born in 2011.
Yeah.
Like I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, your boys, I've been pretty bang on tonight, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bang on. So he's 14. So it's like us when we supported Arsenal. When I grew up, there was a lot of Arsenal fans because Arsenal were winning everything. So this day and age, there's a lot of Man City fans at that age. Because YouTube, you don't have to be over 18 to comment or anything. Whereas TikTok, you're meant to be.
Yeah. No, I started supporting Arsenal when I was 8 years old, and it was the year. It might have been the year before we were the Invincibles, and then
So you
next-
2002.
Yeah.
Adam's 2002. You started right, Adam, when you was
Yeah,
8.
you're younger than me.
Around that. Yeah.
What year are you born, Adam?
1994.
Yeah, you're the same age as me. A year older than me. A year younger than me. I mean, year younger. I'm 31.
Yeah. Great time to start supporting the club, wasn't it? Though, what a time to start supporting Arsenal at that point in history. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I started supporting Arsenal about 1997, 1998.
Yeah, I'm around 96, 5 years old.
Yeah, same as I was 5 then as well, bro.
Thank you, Sparksy.
I'm pretty sure no more. You top lad, brother, top lad. You know the drill, Sparksy.
Good stuff.
If we're on TikTok, if you're not double clicking till your fingers burn, there's a problem. That's the way it is. So you get them likes, you got to double tap the screen. Double tap until your fingers burn. That's what we say over my TikTok.
Well, absolutely, yeah. So, guys, we've been going almost 2 hours now. So, well done, everybody. This is brilliant, and well done to everybody who's viewing. Thank you very much. Whether you're watching this now or after the fact, we really appreciate your support. So, any concluding thoughts, gents?
Can I plug my normal thing and talk about my normal thing? Right.
Yep.
So obviously, I normally talk about mental health awareness, looking out for someone close by, checking in on someone. But actually, today I spoke to someone who actually runs a mental health charity. So I'm just going to put that out there, people. He messaged me. His name is HJE Boxing. His mates have a football team and they run a mental health charity. He put A up how Tough Enough to Care is the name of the charity. So Tough Enough to Care is the name of this mental health charity. They're all over social media. They have a men's charity rugby team called Flaming Unicorns too. They run mental health support across the Midlands and have free 24/7 confidential support line, which is completely anonymous. And they do all sorts of rugby events and sponsored events throughout the year, all aiming to kick the stigma around men's mental health, which is a massive, massive subject because men are told to take it, just take it on the chin, and that's it. So there's help out there, people, with a 24/7 confidential support line, and they are called Tough Enough to Care. So go over to social media, search Tough Enough to Care, and if you need some help mentally, they will help you, and they're there 24/7, people.
Absolutely, and I always have to say this, Jamie, because I'm a massive supporter in the same way as you are with mental health. It's not, we're still a long way away from where we need to be, and I think we need to keep getting this message out there. It's so important. So thank you very much for that. That's brilliant. So I think we're wrapped. Let's hope for an interesting tournament. Let's back the boys, as Jamie said earlier. All positive energy once we get into the tournament. Get behind all of the players, the manager, no matter what your thoughts are on whether Southgate's staying or not. It doesn't matter while we're playing. We've just got to back everybody to the hills and back, and we'll do well. If we're all together, we'll do well. If the team are all together, we'll do well. So let's hope it's coming home.
There you have it, people.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to say we've got everybody here's doing their own stuff on TikTok and YouTube. And everybody, do you want to tell your socials before we go off?
Kurt, you go first, brother.
You go first as host.
As host. I've had to help the boys, people. I've had to help the boys. I see Adam was a bit preoccupied, so I've helped. I've tried to help as much as I can. I think I've just took over by accident, but I was trying to help. It's out of good.
Not at all. Been brilliant.
Yeah. So always. People, my plugs are YouTube. It's Jamie Waffles Footy, JAYMIE, and Waffles Footy. My TikTok is JGunner17, and over on Twitter I am Jamie Gooner. Kurt.
I'm clocking Curtis on YouTube and TikTok. Quite new to it in the last couple of months, but obviously doing regular collaboration with some of the people here. So I'm looking forward to some great content going forward. Obviously, from Jamie Waffles, football, Adam Gooner Network, etc. So VJ Wally as well, and then Arsenal Fan TV, etc. So VJ, you're next.
Yeah. My name is VJ Wally, so you can just, same name on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook as well. And YouTube is the VJ Wally Show. Just, get to connect with me on any of the platform, and we can keep the, conversation going.
Yeah, there we go then, everybody here. Wonderful channels, everybody. Great content, really great bunch of lads. So please subscribe to every single one of them. And we now have 3. You've got 30 seconds to ask a question. If you're that third person that hasn't asked a question, now's the opportunity. So don't be shy. We're just about to sign off. So if you want to ask that question, get it in now. It's now or never.
I've got a question for
VJ.
Mm-hmm. I've got a question for you, VJ. Is your? I thought your name was AJ, brother.
It's
no, you got the wrong Nigerian. Come on.
I got the wrong Nigerian.
They're both Nigerian, but
you know what? I've been eating too much fufu, bro. That's what it is. I think.
He's VJ Wally. He's VJ Wally, and the other is Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, brother. You know what that is? That's a compliment because you're a big man, innit? Big henchman.
Thank you, bro.
No worries, my friend.
There we go then.
Like AJ. That's what it was.
VJ Wally.
Yeah, just
VJ Wally.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend.
VJ, are you around tomorrow? Do you live in London or do you live outside London, VJ?
I live in London. Where are you guys tomorrow?
So we're going to the toilet and around. We're going to try and get there for 6 because obviously the in-game Serbia England's on at 8. There is a game obviously earlier at 5, but we're thinking of getting there for maybe 6, trying to get a spot to watch the England game. So we want to get some content. So obviously for your channel, for your 2 channels, our channels. What I found is when I was been doing a bit of my own content on Free Politics TV, like getting pre-match predictions, getting halftime analysis and post-match analysis is really popular, especially in the pub, because there's atmosphere there and energy, and it started to do numbers on TikTok and YouTube. So if you're around, it'd be great if you can join us. It's just one of your plans.
Just send me the postcode and I'll look at it, and I'll try to make it.
No worries.
Nice one.
Is it inside London? Yeah. Is it inside London? Yeah.
By the Emirates, 5 minutes walk from the Emirates to Tolly.
From the Emirates. Oh, okay. That's nice. Not too far from me. I'll come around.
Okay.
I'll be there. I
would invite you, Jamie, but you're a Cov lad, and you like to see
bro.
Another time, maybe.
When it's closer, if I have a bit more knowledge in advance, a bit more, then I'll be able to. But it's a bit too far for me tomorrow. I've got my dog as well, so I can't just leave her on her own.
Okay, what we do?
We an XL bulldog.
So what are you going to be doing? Obviously, next season we're going to hopefully Adam or me or Sparks are going to get to a game. So you're going to have to make some arrangements for
100%,
childcare for your dog.
Yeah, I can have care for the dog if I know when I'm going. Then 100%, bro. Yeah, of course. If I can get to every single game next season, I'll be at every single game, bro.
Because obviously Adam's a soldier. Adam's a soldier in you're in the West. Are you the West End, Adam?
Yes, I believe so. 114. Block 114. So block 114.
Appreciate it, boys.
You had to think for a minute about you sit in the stadium.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I just go in at Turnstile J, mate. So I just it's it's a good place to sit though. Great atmosphere. Pretty decent. Last question of the night, is it coming home? Is it coming home? Let's hope so.
We can believe. That's all we can do. Game by game, lads.
Believe, guys. Believe.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say yes, just to have some faith. So yes, it's coming home.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, nice one, everybody. Have a good evening. What's left of it? Thanks for joining, guys, and stay good, stay cool, stay happy.
Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channels as well, and share the videos.
Jamie, just send me. Just drop your TikTok handle. Also follow you on TikTok. At least I don't really have followers, but at least I have few.
I'll follow you now, Bobby. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, just if you can follow me on TikTok now, I'll do the same as well.
VJ Wale.
Yeah.
AJVALEY.
VJ.
No, I said it on purpose.
VJW.
I'm following you already, brother. I'll shoot you a message right now.
Okay, no worries.
There's only one VJ Wale.
Yeah. Oh. I know it's VJ. I said AJ on purpose that time to get yours. I've learnt my lesson, boys.
Right. Cheers, lads. Have a great evening.
Stay safe, boys.
Up the Arsenal, up the England.
Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, man. Have a good one.
See you later, boys.
Yeah,
Take
cheers,
care.
bud. Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye.